Smashita Ganesh Swami. I have secured 170 marks in chemistry and a total of 670 in 821. Having been a NEET aspirant myself, I know that there is this one thing common with all of us, and that is, हमें लगता है कि physics बहुत hard है. So we tend to invest a lot of time towards it. We practice a huge number of questions. Biology, on the other hand, is easy, but it is vast and volatile. So we have to revise it more often. और इन्हीं दोनों के चक्कर में हमेशा chemistry रह जाती है. We don't take it that seriously. But let me tell you something, guys. Biology has half the weightage of paper, and it is a bit easy. So you'll do it anyways. Okay, biology is kept aside now. Coming to physics, physics is hard. Even if you give your 100%, you cannot be sure how the paper will turn out to be, okay? If the paper is hard, you won't be able to solve the question. If the paper is easy, easy meaning the paper will be based on NCERT, so you'll have to know all the facts, and if you haven't done NCERT thoroughly, you won't be able to solve the paper. So either way, you cannot be sure about how much you'll score in physics. You still should give your 100%, but let physics be your right decider. So the backbone of your selection stays chemistry. Now that I think I have convinced you with the importance of chemistry, let's get to some real stuff. Chemistry is very huge in itself. So I thought that I'll be making 3 different videos, each for organic, inorganic and physical chemistry, so that I can get into the details of every sector. Plus, I'll also be recommending you some YouTube channels. Obviously, this video is not sponsored because I've just started out on YouTube. That's why all of these recommendations are going to be totally genuine, and you can count on me for that. NCERT is the soul of inorganic chemistry. You can learn these chapters from whichever teacher you want to, but eventually you will have to do them on your own from NCERT. Now let's talk about each chapter individually. To begin with, structure of atom. This is a very simple chapter, but it feels really huge when you are starting out in your 11th standard.
And as you'll notice, even NCERT has presented this chapter in a very elaborate way. Also, I've taken some efforts to highlight really important points from this chapter, and I'm going to upload the PDFs of my NCERT and the rest of my notes for free on my Telegram channel. The link is in the description, so make sure you check that out. Because just 5 to 6 months are left, and if you haven't done this stuff already, then honestly you do not have much time, and a little aid can help a long way. Okay, over here, these graphs about the atomic orbital, these are most likely to be skipped by many students, but my dear friends, these are really important. Make sure you go through them. I've also added them in my notes, and you'll get your concepts clear by then, or you can go on YouTube and you can see some videos about these graphs, but please do not skip them. And one thing that most of us avoid, like 99% of the times, is this page. Okay, the last page of structure of atom, which has a table of electronic configurations. Now this feels useless as students just turn over the page, but we need to stop over here because there is something written over here. Elements with exceptional electronic configurations. All these starred elements have exceptional electronic configurations, okay? And we just tend to move over after seeing this because it feels impossible to, remember and learn all of these exceptions.
But it is not impossible. Actually, I was obsessed with memorizing those exceptions. You'll know the importance of it when you go through your block chemistry, and many questions have been asked directly based on the electronic configurations in the previous years. I definitely could not risk that. So I surfed YouTube, watched a lot of videos, and finally landed on this one video. And after that, I never wronged any question based on these exceptions. So yeah, please go and watch it and you won't regret it. Our next chapter is the periodic properties. Remember this one thing. This chapter is a door to block chemistry. Make sure you build it really strong, because if this door is weak, you'll never be able to protect your block chemistry. This is a very small chapter, but it is really important, okay? So do not ignore it. Read it nicely, read the NCERT, highlight points and understand each and everything. Do not just mug things up. The third chapter is chemical bonding. Now this is a hell of a chapter. Chemical bonding and coordination compounds. these chapters have literally everything: theories, concepts, memorization, exception. Plus, they aren't that easy to understand either. So, how do we tackle them? Actually, these chapters are to be learned through question solving. The more number of questions you solve, the more deeply you'll be able to understand them.
I cannot emphasize the importance of NCRT enough for these chapters, especially, okay? Because there are some points that you'll be finding only in NCRT, like this point over here. In case of polyatomic molecules like H2O, the enthalpy needed to break the two OH bonds is not the same because both of the bonds have different bond strengths. And even these tables, you do not have to memorize all these numbers, but they can ask you a question based on the comparison of bond strength because bond strength is inversely proportional to the bond length. So make sure that you check that out once. As we move forward, there's a huge table over here which has structures of many of the examples, and you should be able to draw those structures just by seeing these examples. And there's a trick that I've added in my notes for this one, and they are in my Telegram channel. Okay, from here we get to know that the most electronegative atom is present or more stable at the axial position than the equatorial position. Okay, and there's one more really important point ahead. Okay, where is it? Yep, here it is. It is important to note that a double bond in C2 consists of both pi bonds because of the presence of 4 electrons in 2 pi molecular orbitals. Generally, when there's a double bond, we know that one is a sigma bond and the another one is a pi bond. But in case of C2, both of the bonds are pi bonds. Okay, remember that. Even the summary of this chapter is really important, so make sure that you go through NCRT very, very thoroughly.
Now, the coordination compounds have the Werner's theory, nomenclature, classification, isomerism, valence bond theory, its limitations, and the spectrochemical series.
Now, what is so special about this series? Actually, many direct questions have been asked from the order of this series, so it is very important for you to remember it. Now, how do you go about doing that?
There's this video on YouTube for memorizing the series, and I'm sure that it will help you too.
Now, these diagrams are also present in NCRT, so please study them carefully. One important point over here is that the energy separation in tetrahedral is 4/9 times of that in the octahedral. Now, this is given in NCRT. Let's find out where. Now, this is page number 259, and over here in this line it is given that the tetrahedral energy separation is equal to 4/9 times that of the octahedral. Okay, so there are some really minute points in NCRT, that's why you need to read it thoroughly.
Next, we have the crystal field theory, Jahn-Teller effect, stability of coordination compounds, trans effect, which comes along with yet another series.
This is the trans effect series. It is not present in NCRT, but questions have been asked repeatedly from it, so you can check this video on YouTube and memorize it.
Lastly, we have the organometallic compounds. Do not forget to go through this diagram on the second page of NCRT. As you can see, among all the other compounds, only cobalt has 2 bridged carbon monoxide groups. You'll also need to remember the number of CO groups in every compound, like 4 in nickel, 5 in iron, 6 in chromium, and 10 in manganese. And this way, we end the chapter here. This leads us to our next chapter, that is the general processes and principles of isolation of elements. Now, after you are done memorizing all the ores, the next important thing is the classification.
Because when you open the NCRT for this chapter, it looks like a total mess and you cannot study any chapter this way. So the 3 major steps here are concentration of ore, extraction of metal from ore, and the purification of the extracted metal.
Subtopics, you can move on to the thermodynamic and the electrochemical processes, and make sure that you study the diagram of blast furnace as well. As you might know, a question had been asked from it in NEET 2021, so there's a very high possibility that even these reactions can be asked in the future papers. The chapter finally ends with the refining process. Here, you need to know all the examples given in NCERT for every process. For detailed understanding, you can also watch some animated videos of the processes on YouTube. Alas, we proceed with the block chemistry, which consists of hydrogen S block, P block, D block, and F block. There are two things common in all of these chapters, and those are facts and tables.
Such tables are present in every chapter of the block chemistry. Now, how do you study them? You just need to figure out the order of things, like the first ionization enthalpy. The decreasing order would be beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, radium, and then barium. You need to find all the orders, write them separately, and make sure that you do not miss exceptions like these ones.
To understand the trends in inorganic chemistry better, you can seek help from the channel called Komali Ma'am. You surely won't be disappointed. I promise. Okay. You can still do hydrogen S block, P block by reading NCERT, writing these chapters a number of times, revising them, or making flashcards like this. But when it comes to D block, the problem starts with understanding the chapter in the first place. I have struggled with it myself. Even the trends in D block, they have no particular order. So I was surfing YouTube like always, and I came across this one channel called the Tips, Tricks and Concepts by Vishnu, and damn was it so useful. I mean, I could finally understand the chapter only after seeing his videos, so you should definitely go and try that out. Inorganic chemistry is very huge, and you can feel totally hopeless when you're trying to remember everything in there. And that is why many of the students leave inorganic chemistry. They rely on organic and physical chemistry. But my dear friends, when you're giving your NEET examination and you want some really good medical colleges, you cannot really leave any chapter or a whole sector of one subject, okay? You will have to do this. The thing or the problem is how to do it. If you know the problem and if you want to fix it, then go and search for the solution instead of avoiding the problem. So the solution that I used was, I used to write inorganic chemistry as many times as I could. I have written some points or the highlights from NCERT over and over 8 times, 10 times. I don't even remember it. So it is now like a hand memory to me. Every time when I picked up inorganic chemistry, I used to say to myself, it's okay. Even this time you'll not be able to remember everything that you're reading or everything that you're writing, but you'll still write. So when I wrote inorganic chemistry for the 8th or the 9th time, even then I could not remember everything. At that time, I was able to retain 80% of the things that I wrote, as compared to the first 2 times when only 30 to 40% things stayed in my mind. So doing one thing over and over or giving some time to the thing can make you better and eventually best in it. So please do not leave an organic chemistry. It is totally NCERT. You just have to stick to it and revise it more often. All the best.
If you find the one, you should never give her up. I think it's the way life changes when in love, yeah.